Hey, what's up everybody, Marcus here. Alright, today the question that many of us ask ourselves is, why do I create? Actually, I had an epiphany about this quite some time ago.
I'm in a public bathroom right now. That's cool. I think I finally discovered the solution to my debacle. I will do film.
Okay, so my renewed purpose with this channel is to really communicate many of the things that I do and see how I can help you in your creative journey. You know, I'm a multifaceted creative from Jamaica, you know, so I do video work, done photography, done design stuff. You know, it's just like all these things that I've learned from in my travels and this and that, I'm trying to kind of encapsulate in a way that can help you. Alright, so let's get into it. Alright, so my journey in this regard really starts in Japan. So in 2009, I lived in Japan for 2 years, and this was really the inception, or just like the beginning of my whole journey, like deciding to start doing film, deciding to take my design more seriously, and just kind of deciding to be creative and start creating and putting it out there. Alright, so I'm just going to give you the exact reason why I started what I did. You know, as a Jamaican who was fortunate to live in different countries, you know, I've lived in the US, Asia, and the Caribbean, I've always wanted to kind of just share my experiences. I used to write blogs on WordPress. I used to take photos every single place I went, you know, before I knew what vlogging was or anything. And when I went to Japan in 2009, there was a point where so much cool stuff was happening, and I was walking around with like this Nikon D40, and I was like, no, I think I need something more compact, and maybe I need to take video. And that's how Jamaican in Japan was born. It was just born from a need to share what I was seeing with the world and showing them that there was more out there for themselves to experience. Alright, I'm gonna show you guys something. Alright, so I want to show you a t-shirt I made a long time ago, which was a heat transfer, and explain why this fits into why I create. Can't find it. Alright, I'll use this one. Alright, so this shirt I'm showing you is not the one I was looking for, but it will help answer what I was talking about. So a long time ago, I remember when I had the idea to make this character, these designs, and one of the things I didn't really know was screen printing on how to make things. The shirt I was looking for was a heat transfer, and I remember what I did was I just like went to, I think, Target, which was near where I lived, and I just bought a heat transfer and ironed it on and made the shirt. Meaning I wanted to create it so badly, I just made it real. And that's one thing you should do. Why do you create? It's when you want to make something real. Alright. So basically, what I'm trying to say now is, you know, when you want to create something and make it real as quickly as possible, that means you're passionate and driven about what you want to do. And what I've found over the years for me, when I'm having issues having consistency with creating, with coming up with ideas, with being like passionate about what I'm trying to do, more often than not what's going on with me is that I'm just not trying to create it quickly enough, or I don't make it real enough quickly enough, so it's like it's in my head. So now it's like if I want to make a vlog, I just make a vlog. If I want to make a shirt, I design it quickly. If I want to see a sample, I order it as quickly as possible so I have the real sample in my hands. If I want to write a story, if I want to make a book, make a design, I found that back in the day, when you come from a pure place, all you do is just create as quickly as possible, and this does two things. Alright, the first thing it does is it allows you to evaluate your work. So you see, when people say, well, why do I create? Now we know the reason. You create because you're coming from a passionate place. But what creating does, and especially creating quickly, is it allows you to get feedback on your work very quickly. You know really fast whether something is good or bad. So like if you're writing a book, for example, and you take 5 years to write it, then you find out that you're not a good writer. Wouldn't it have made more sense to write that book in 3 months, 3.5 months, if possible, just an example, and then get the feedback for the next year? So that means in 1 year, when you start writing a new book, you have so much information about what you're doing. And this, I think, is invaluable. Alright, so this book right here, this illustrates perfectly what I'm talking about. This is Sex, Drugs, and Jerk Chicken. It's my first, well, not my first novel, but it's the first book I self-published. Now, looking on this cover, it's very different from the cover I have for the book right now, which I'm actually going to show you now. Now what's really interesting is that at the time I wrote this book, because the book about, like, you know, these 3 guys in their mid-20s going through, you know, like that coming of age kind of vibe in Washington DC. So in my design mind, I said, okay, let me put this teddy bear with this black mark over its eye beside an empty rum bottle to kind of illustrate innocence lost. I know, very cerebral, sorry, apologies. But that's what I thought, you know, fit the theme of the book at the time, because I'm writing a book, designing the cover, and that's the cover I went with, you know. But eventually I said, I think you have to think too much about it, and I just changed the cover. But if I didn't create this, if I didn't make this reel as quickly as possible, I wouldn't have been able to learn from it. And I think that's a powerful lesson with anything you're doing, especially something like this. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I mean, the number one thing I've learned, like I said, you know, why do you create things, why do you try to create things, is essentially you are birthing ideas that will allow you to like go to the bigger and better idea. Just like this thing I showed you, just like this book here, right? This book was like burning inside me for some time, and after I wrote it, after I gave birth to it, I basically was free now to like do other things. I could write other books, you know, make other ideas come to life. And I think if you have something in you, whether it's a product idea, it's a video idea, a photo idea, a photo shoot idea, a graphic design, a t-shirt, a painting, it's just good to make it because it allows you to go to the next thing. And I think that's the purpose of creativity. It's like you can't master something until you master the basics. You can't write a book until you write the first one. You know what I'm saying? You can't write 5 books until you write the first one. And you can't write your first book until you write your first short story. You can't make your first clothing line until you make your first design. But every time you're doing these things, which is kind of cool, you're giving birth to something new and making it real, learning from it, and also solidifying the reason for yourself why you create. Alright, that's it for this week. Today, talk soon. You don't know, click the bell, subscribe. Respect. Look who it is, it's Benny. Hey Benny. Hey. What's up?